Yo, what's up, guys? It's Mac from the Rockets Game Corner, and I am back with a huge news update video. A lot of stuff dropped at 2:45 a.m. right now when I'm recording this. I don't know when this is going to go up. It might go up tomorrow morning, but we were just scrolling through Twitter. I'm here with my friend Sam Metal, one of my good friends, and he's very opinionated on some of the topics that we are going to discuss. So, Sam, say hi.
What's up? I hate you. I love you.
uh-huh. Well, we were just scrolling through, and a bunch of stuff is going down with Nintendo right now, and I thought I would give you guys my thoughts, tell you guys what's going on, and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm sure you guys have seen all of this other places, but I like watching other people's opinions on things, and I figured maybe you guys would too. So, first off, I'm just going to go through all of the things that happened today. I'm going to scroll through Nintendo's Twitter and show you these. They're all on the official Nintendo of America Twitter, at Nintendo America, so you can go and look at these and stuff like that. But I'm going to go through all of them, and then we're going to backtrack and talk about these things a little bit more in depth. It won't be too long of a video, but we're going to talk about things. So let's start off with the big one, the one that everyone's talking about right now, and that is the next generation of Nintendo is coming out in March 2017, and it's the NX. One thing they did say, it doesn't show this on the Nintendo of America like Twitter or whatever, but one thing they did say is codename NX. So it still could change. We could still, like, it might not, that's probably not the final name of their system if they're going to call it the NX, but yeah, there's that. And then Zelda Wii U is getting, here we go at the top, Legend of Zelda Wii U and NX is getting pushed back to 2017, which is pretty lame. The NX won't be at E3 this year. They're saving E3 for primarily Zelda, which I've seen from multiple sources out there. So I think that's pretty credible. It's on the, I think it's on the Japanese Nintendo website too. So if you type in Nintendo in the Twitter bar thing, it'll give you all the other Nintendos, but I'm only on the English one right now. Also, more Nintendo franchises are going to mobile. We're going to see Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing. And then we are also going to, well, we for sure now have the date that, well, kinda, when Pokemon Sun and Moon is coming out. They said 2016 before. Now they've officially said it's going to come out holiday 2016 for North America, late 2016 for UK, and I forget the other word they used for the other area, but we don't know if they're going to release them all at the same time. UK has been known to get some games late. It would suck for them if they did, but that's a possibility right now because of how they worded their ways of putting stuff. But yeah, so I guess we'll backtrack and we'll first start off with the I mean, there's not really a whole lot to talk about the Sun and Moon coming out in holiday 2016. The only thing I want to say on that is that I will be doing a video on the they copyrighted 6 or 7 names recently, and all of those names have some sort of origins if you break down the words and all that stuff. So we might actually know what our starters / legendaries are for that game already, and I'm going to make an actual in-depth video with those separately. That'll be up sometime later this week or something like that. But the one thing that we want to talk about, me and Mr. Sam Metal, is Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem coming to mobile devices. What do you think about this? Are you happy or nah? Is it lit or is it shit? Let the people know.
Well, when you first said coming to mobile, I was like, well, they already sell this on 3DS. Fire Emblem / what is it? Shin Megami Tensei is coming out for Wii U whenever that comes out, if it ever comes out.
Yeah, probably
I think it's already out in Japan. So why would they continue to push it to mobile? On one hand, it can be a disaster. What everybody's horrifying thoughts would be, free to play, pay to win, all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Or it could be absolutely amazing. It could be like Miitomo,
Yeah.
but with Fire Emblem, and you basically, it's basically waifu simulator, but on your phone, and then you can pet them like randomly when you're like at work. Or
Bring back the
on
petting,
way.
damn it. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it'd be super lit. but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what they do with it, how they're gonna go about it. If it's gonna be like, is it announced that they're gonna be games or just Fire Emblem related things slash Animal Crossing related things?
Yeah, just kind of related things, I guess.
Oh, okay.
It's not
So it
really.
could possibly go the same for Animal Crossing, where it might not be Pet Isabel Simulator, but or play the actual game, but it could be like something like either mini game of some sort or just I don't know, like how I said before, it's just some weird, just minor tie-in to what may be another game.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Now Sam knows a
What
lot
you,
about Fire Emblem. I know a lot about Animal Crossing. We both kind of go opposite ways on this. I don't really do anything when it comes to Fire Emblem series, but I love the Animal Crossing series. And I'm gonna ask you this question now, and I'm gonna let you think about it while I'm stating my answer to this question. But if you could have, I mean, you kind of already did. If you could have any mobile related like Fire Emblem game, what would it be like? Now I'm gonna go over the Animal Crossing one really quick. Um, I think this could be really, really cool. I think it has definite potential if they go the same way that Pokemon Go is going, where they just make it, I don't know, make it like a $5.99 game, make it like something like that you can just pick up, kind of like an eShop title, where it's just a bunch of fun little games you can play. It doesn't need to be free to play or anything like that, although maybe they could do like a free to play version where you have nothing. But I think they could do a lot of cool stuff with the Animal Crossing one in the way that like you have your home in the Animal Crossing game on your mobile device, and it's a bunch of mini games and stuff. Like you could go fishing; it'd be a fishing mini game on your phone. It'd be a bug catching mini game on your phone. It'd be like
that'd be pretty sick, actually.
something to do with like fossils. It'd be really cool, and you could earn bells that way. And then maybe somehow with the cloud, you could transfer your bells to the NX version of Animal Crossing or something like
Oh yeah,
that.
that would be pretty
That would
good.
be
Like
sick.
some sort of offline while you're playing this little game, like a reward system outside of the game.
Yeah, yeah. I
That sounds
always
pretty
go
cool.
back to the step calculator or whatever you wanted to call it from Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where you could catch Pokemon, you could get items and all this stuff based off of like your steps and where you're going, just bringing it with you on the go. I think that was the start of something that could be really, really cool with a bunch of Nintendo games. There's a bunch of franchises that could do that. I think Animal Crossing, even though a lot of people bring their 3DSs with them anyway, and the only problem with this is in Japan especially, they're already primarily 3DS, like 90% 3DS there, which is why Nintendo pushes 3DS games so much. Um, Putting something where you'd have to not be on your 3DS like out in mobile. Basically, the way that we have our phones all the time is the way that they have their 3DSs. So, putting something that you could earn bells specifically, it would have to be targeted towards a towards like our demographic, towards like North America
So
and the UK and stuff.
Western demographic, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
U.S. And Europe type demographic. Word.
yeah. Now, did you think of anything for a Fire Emblem one?
Yes, but before that, now that you mentioned the Pokemon tracker, the step tracker,
Yeah,
the external thing, that may have secretly been some sort of prototype for what is to come. Maybe
yeah,
from what all you said, they can do mobile apps with some sort of like link into your Nintendo account that you have like currently, like say on the Wii U, but will obviously be revamped or remade completely in the NX or codename NX.
yeah,
Maybe that was the prototype for what is to come, and I think that would actually be really, really cool.
yeah. I
That they
think
would
it
do
would
something.
too. I like
Now,
that kind of stuff.
yeah. Now for Fire Emblem, obviously they could port like some of the series that never really made it out, like the stuff that was on the Super Famicom, I believe, and then they could like do like a remake, and or they could even port the Game Boy ones, like kind of like how Virtual Console, since I mean you can already download Game Boy emulators and then play the game, and you don't have to do anything intensive or that requires timing, which you know a lot of phones have like a input delay on like the display and stuff,
Yeah,
so you don't have to do any sort of strict stuff like that. So they could potentially either make new games, smaller versions of Fire Emblem games, or they could just do mini games where it's you know take your wife, basically conversation waifu simulator. Or well, yeah, basically that. And they could either sell them for like smaller versions and they release map packs of some sort, kind of like how they do now. Except, did you have to buy those actually? Like for the current Fire Emblems, I do not own a 3DS, unfortunately, which makes me very, very, very sad. Did you have to buy the map packs?
I
I
don't
think.
think you did. I'm like 90% sure that you didn't, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay, so let's just assume that you're not buying these. Um, so if they release them every now and then, they could either go to the payway where you can buy the map packs you want, or like some sort of season pass, or they can do a bit of both, where they'll offer you some for free and some for pay. And they can also, well, this is of course going the route where they do decide to get some sort of currency outside of just buying the game, where they can also make you buy certain characters. It could also be the same when you do waifu slash husbando simulator, where you can buy certain characters to talk to and have conversations of some sort.
Yeah.
Um, it could be good, it could be bad. Although I
They
still
could
think
use that
that
whole like amiibo card concept, or sorry, the whole Animal Crossing card concept. They could use that with Fire Emblem because there's so many different Fire Emblem characters. Like you could buy a pack of
yeah,
cards, and then whoever you get, you can put in like a pack of like 3 cards or something. I don't know. They get there's a lot of stuff. There's
yeah.
a lot of little money things that they could do. And I mean, I think that not only would it like it would net Nintendo a ton of money, and I think that's obviously what they're going for. But I think it would
I
honestly
mean,
be
I
really
think
fun for
so.
us too.
Yeah, considering it's like dollars, it's not like, you're not shelving like $30, $60 as you would for like a new entry, or $40. Like this would be like, like $5 for, or even the game is free, but to get additional content,
Hmm.
in-app purchases as they call them, like, it's like dollars type of deal, which people, are happy to give out $1 because like it's $1. I'm getting, this cool stuff. Like I'm getting a character, or I'm getting a new map, or I'm getting something else for like $1 or $2. So people are more than willing to shell out that kind of money than newer releases on like consoles.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's definitely gonna net money whatever they do
yeah.
if they pull it off correctly.
Definitely, definitely. So, next, we're just gonna get into the NX coming out in March. It kind of segues into everything else, or the final two things. So, the NX coming out in March of 2017. It means the death of the Wii U is coming soon, sooner than a lot of people thought. I mean, the console's lifespan was really not that long at all. It was at like
No, it came out in
2012.
2012. Yeah, like late 2012.
Yeah, the 4 years is not that long, and that's all this thing is gonna live. It didn't get a lot. Like when you think back uh, on the Wii U, which main games do you think of? Like there wasn't a lot. There was
There really
Smash.
wasn't a lot. Like
There was
out like
Mario Kart
my
8.
sole reason for buying a Wii U was for Smash,
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure it was yours too.
I got it actually. Like I'm one of the very few people that got it because of Wind Waker HD.
Oh,
Um,
that's right. That's right.
the
That was our
fact that I
launch
could get
title.
yeah the fact that I could get a Wind Waker Wii U was like an instant seller for me.
Oh, okay.
But
So that's a,
yeah,
I mean, you bought it.
yeah.
That's a,
But
yeah. Outside of it, I only have a handful of games. Like I have Shovel Knight, but that you can buy that on different consoles.
yeah,
Um, yeah, same with like the Shantae. Like I have a bunch of smaller games. Well, like a couple, but you can buy those on different consoles. Um, I have Smash, obviously the biggest money sink that I've done for this console. I have Splatoon. I have Mario Kart, and I think that's it.
there's really not a lot. Like I don't know. I think probably the reason they're going to NX so soon is because a lot of developers, whether it be third party or first party, want to put content on the Nintendo and or want to put content on a Nintendo system, but because our hardware isn't up to everyone else's yet, we're honestly closer to the Wii with the NX than we are to the Xbox One or the PS4. So
Yeah,
they really need the upgrade in hardware, and apparently it's going to be more powerful than the PS4. So, I
it's
mean, we don't
lit.
know anything about it yet. We know the release date, but we don't know anything about this thing. Is there anything that you really, really hope is going to be on the NX, whether it be like software or hardware that you really, really want? Because there's a couple things that I want.
Software, hardware, I actually have no idea, but one thing that kind of bums me out that I actually thought at first was like really weird, but I've really come to enjoy, is the fact that the Wii U can operate without a TV for some games. Like for example, Smash. For the longest time, I wouldn't even turn on my TV, and I'd play on gamepad. Yes, I was a gamepad scrub, but I didn't have a GameCube adapter. They were impossible to find. So I played that like that way for a while, and it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think that's really cool too. I think the controller for the Nintendo NX is going to be something that is greatly anticipated.
Modifying
Like
and anticipated, yeah.
yeah, like anticipated. We really want to know what that is because Nintendo for their last two, I mean, actually, their every console, if you think about it, every console that like Nintendo has ever had, the controller's been so weird. The
Yeah,
64 controller, the GameCube controller is weird. I mean, the GameCube controller is like,
it turned out to be the best controller in the world, basically.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think it's really
it's
good.
comfortable to hold. Like I remember when the GameCube first came out, I hated everything about it. I was so sad, and I was actually really mad about Wind Waker for the art style. Obviously, my opinion
You're
changed.
the worst.
My opinion changed. That's the point. It's a good game. It's its own good game. Its art style does not hamper its gameplay. It's just different. But like the GameCube controller, over time, it's just so comfortable. It's just made for hands, despite how it looked. But I remember looking at it and thinking it was the ugliest controller to look at in the world. And in some ways, it does look ugly at first glance, but when you hold it, different story.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like the directional pad down below the I don't know. It just got some weird stuff on it, some weird stuff. But I
Yeah, but
definitely am really anxious to figure out what the controller is for the NX. I really want to see some sort of DVD Blu-ray player on it. I don't want it to be. I don't want the next Nintendo system to be like all of their other systems have been, where it's only a game system. I really like the way that Microsoft and Sony have gone about making their systems an entertainment hub, and I think Nintendo could really do well to kind of emulate that.
hmm
Um, I want
Actually,
something like
one
that.
reason. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but one reason I think Microsoft and Sony can do it so easily is because number one, Sony does stuff other than game consoles. That's
Yeah,
just a branch. Like Sony has its own gaming branch, but they've been known to make like DVD players, Blu-ray players, and all sorts of parts. So like I think they're just like, oh, we just have these 50 million DVD, CD players, whatever players, CD players. Look at me. And we'll just slap it on this console. Microsoft, same thing. I mean, they make computers, and then computer software. So it's
yeah,
no big deal for them. Nintendo hasn't really been that. They've been so exclusive game company that I guess for them maybe it's due to parts or something. That's my speculation. But I absolutely agree that if they gave it a Blu-ray DVD player, it could definitely compete as a singular console in a household.
yeah. I definitely think it could too. That's one thing that I'm definitely hoping that it comes out with this one. Um, as far as hardware and software goes, I think we'll learn more soon. I think they've officially announced the release date for the NX. They've officially unveiled it. I feel like
Well,
information, even though it's not going to be. Oh yeah, I guess this kind of segues into our next thing. Were you going to say something else before we segue into our next thing?
yes. Like kind of like to give an idea of like how a lot of developers wanted to work for Wii U and may have an even better chance on NX. For a long while, Nintendo was obviously very closed about
Yeah,
what it released, and Wii U has finally been opening. Like for the longest time, I know the developers of Binding of Isaac were not able to get any sort of a until like very recently. They were not able to get any versions of the game until Rebirth not too long ago, and so them showing that they're finally showing interest in like indie games despite it not being family friendly or something, even though they've released non-family friendly games before, is kind of like signs to come that the NX may have a lot more titles to offer and could definitely compete in the market.
I think if they're going to succeed as a business, I mean, obviously they're going to succeed anyway. But if they
Yeah,
really want to push the market, they need to do that. So
yeah,
I think that's the
absolutely.
thing. But yeah, as I was gonna say, the Nintendo NX won't be at E3 this year. They are saving E3 for specifically. They mentioned Zelda, specifically for Zelda. So I think that because the NX has been announced right now, we're gonna get information faster than people think. However, it's not gonna be at E3, so we're not gonna get a big thing. We're not going to get a big presentation there. However, I think they're going to honestly do something similar to Space World back in the day for the GameCube and the N64, where they have their own convention kind of around holiday 2016, where they just do this really big sort of convention and presentation and stuff, and they announce everything. Although we do have the Nintendo Directs now, they could just kind of bullshit us and give us a direct on it, I
They can
guess.
do it whenever they want in their Nintendo. They don't care.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like they're gonna do something like Space World, where they have this big presentation that's like Nintendo only, um, and stuff like that. But that kind of segues into the whole Zelda being the main thing at E3 and how Zelda is also getting pushed back to 2017. They did mention it's NX and Wii U, which I think we already knew, but we know for sure now. And I don't know. What does this mean for Nintendo now that they're not gonna have the the NX at E3, and they're not gonna have either of them for holiday 2016.
That was actually really surprising. That number one, they announced it without showing any sort of visuals, and that they announced that they're not showing anything related to it at E3, but they're gonna announce a game that is gonna be on it at E3, even though it's gonna be on Wii U as well. But judging by the release date of Zelda, of the new Zelda game and the NX, it seems like it's suffering from what I like to call Twilight Princessitis, where it suffered the same dilemma. It got delayed like a good while because they were basically debating, should we release this on the Wii U only? I mean, on the Wii only, or should we do, release it also for the GameCube? Even though we got a bunch of orders, me being one of them, and me being very angry when I heard that they were gonna try to do Wii only for a while. And I was like, no, son, you need to give me my game. I've been waiting for this my entire high school life. Give it to me. And fortunately, they did do that. But it what it means, like, I think that number one, because have been waiting for a new Zelda for quite some time. When did Skyward Sword release? Out of
2000,
curiosity.
2011, I think.
Yeah, so it's been a
Yeah,
hot minute.
it was the end of the Wii's lifespan is when that was
You're right.
released.
So the fact that we haven't had a Zelda for Wii U actually is really surprising because we had a Zelda for every console.
Well, as far back as 2013, they released like footage of a so-called Zelda Wii U, and I mean, we have a Wind Waker remake technically, we have Hyrule Warriors technically, we have other Zelda things, but we don't have that main Zelda
Yeah,
game
we don't have a
that's like
main
for.
Zelda.
But like more importantly than that, I think is the fact that every year Nintendo kind of does. I mean, every year for the past like 5 years, they've done the same thing at E3. Like they've been very predictable, haven't done a lot of stuff. I think in order for them to succeed in the wintertime this year, um, I mean, in order for them to succeed in the months between October and like April, there's gonna have to be two things that are gonna have to happen. Number one, they're gonna have to show us something crazy that we don't know about that's on 3DS probably, considering that'll be a medium that'll stay along for longer than the Wii U. Or I mean that's yeah, pretty much the 3DS.
Yeah,
Or show us something really really cool that we don't know about already on the Wii U. That's gonna be there at the very end of that lifespan, I guess.
yeah, kind of
Because
to
right
like say,
now,
hey, Wii U is not completely dead, type of deal, or we're not leaving you out in the dust type of deal.
Yeah, yeah. Because right now, the holiday releases for the Wii U and 3DS, the only big ones, I mean, the only big one is Pokemon Sun and Moon. The next biggest thing is Sonic and Mario at the Winter Olympics. Like, there's nothing
Yeah.
that's going to be coming out this winter for them, and that's going to hurt them tremendously. However, my point number two that they could do to make this all okay is make a great price point for the NX. If they make a great price point for the NX and they sell a ton, they're shipping out like a bunch at the very beginning of its release, they make up for that winter like kind of let down, because obviously Pokemon will carry them as far as it can.
Oh, absolutely. Pokemon will carry them to victory.
Yeah, and then they just happen, like they make a good price point, and then they make a butt ton of money in March and April and May and stuff like that. So I think those are basically the two things that they have to do now. I mean, I think regardless of the price point for the NX, unless it's like super high, I think they'll sell a good amount just because they're going to be releasing Zelda with it right away. And the fact that it has Zelda, I also think the NX will probably get 2 Zelda titles because the Wii U only technically got 1.
That
Although,
is true.
yeah, I mean, yeah, because the Wii technically got 2, because remember how Twilight Princess came in at the very beginning and then Skyward
And
Sword
then
came in at the
Skyward
end?
Sword at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
right.
that sort of thing will happen again with this. I mean, same thing happened with the GameCube and Wind Waker, where Wind Waker
That's
right
a good
away,
point, yeah.
Twilight Princess at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much everything that's going on in the world of Nintendo. Is there anything else that you want to add to all of that stuff?
They number one better put a good thought of the hardware, how it interacts, and of course the price point.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody was like expecting Sony when Sony and like Xbox One were released or whatever, or given information about like what the price specs and like general specs were. Like
Yeah.
people were surprised that PS4 was $399 US dollars as opposed to $599 US dollars with the PS3. So I think Nintendo's smart enough and has some brilliant people working for them where they'll figure out a good price point for hardware that is supposedly touted as being better than PS4.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm excited to find out more stuff. As soon as more things are revealed, I'll be doing more videos for you guys, giving you my 2 cents. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Sam, for being on. I really appreciate your insight as well. Made it easier to talk off of because I had another perspective on everything. So thank you.
No problem, man.
And thank you guys for watching again. And I will see you guys later. Bye.